I've been asked to speak on what governments can do to create an environment that will facilitate entrepreneurship. I don't know why Tony chose me to speak about this. I would not call myself an entrepreneur. I am just a series of accidents. But for the time being, I'm the governor of the third largest state in Nigeria. With some 8 million people, 3/4 of which are young people below the age of 40, and 80% of which are unemployed. This is a major challenge that we face in our state. And this challenge is not unique to Kaduna. I think it is typical of most of Nigeria and indeed most of Africa. Africa has a great opportunity because of our youthful population. We stand at the throes of reaping a major demographic dividend if we leverage that asset through education, better health care, and opportunities for full self-realization. But we're also in danger, because if we don't leverage and convert that population into an asset, all sorts of bad things can happen. This is why I want to use this opportunity to commend and congratulate my brother Tony for what he's doing in this area to harness the energies of Africa. You are the energies of Africa. Africa is a very profitable place to do business. Rates of return here are higher than anywhere in the world, but it can be very challenging. However, the opportunities are immense enough to justify the effort. Some people think Africa is a country. My American friends would say, I came back from Africa last month. But Africa can be a country. With people like you networking and building companies and businesses, we may end up with one African country of entrepreneurs. In 10 years, with 10,000 like you, even if the success rate is 10%, it means we are going to have 1,000 businesses in Africa employing millions of people. So again, I commend Tony for this vision. And I congratulate you for being the first set of African entrepreneurs. But being selected for this program is the easy part. The difficult part is to make your ideas work. Convert your ideas into thriving businesses and be the future Tony Elimelus of your countries and of the continent. Entrepreneurs can choose to see problems and impediments, or they can embrace these as opportunities and possibilities. And here I will tell you a story. Because some 16 years ago, I was appointed the Director General of the Bureau of Public Enterprises. The Bureau of Public Enterprises is a federal agency in Nigeria in charge of privatization. One of our flagship transactions was to privatize the then national telecoms monopoly called Nitel. Nitel had sucked about $7 billion of government investments to provide Nigerians with less than 500,000 working telephone lines. Nigeria had the most expensive phone network in the entire world and perhaps the most inefficient. We were determined to privatize NITEL as well as open up the sector for private sector competition. I remember when we prepared the information memorandum for the sale of NITEL, the forecast of the size of the mobile phone market in Nigeria was 5 million subscribers in 3 years. Much as I tried to convince our investment bankers that that estimate was way too low, they were convinced, based on the statistics, that Nigerians could not afford GSM lines. And if all works well, based on our GDP per capita, in 3 years, 5 million Nigerians would have phone lines. I was sure they were wrong. We invited many big companies from Vodafone to AT&T to come to Nigeria to bid for NITEL or to bid for GSM licenses, and they declined. A South African company called MTN, which was not even the market leader in South Africa, took the plunge. Today, MTN is the largest telecoms company in Africa and is in a position to buy Vodafone and AT&T. Why? Because they invested in Nigeria. 70% of MTN's growth and revenues come from Nigeria. And just to put things in perspective, we got 5 million lines in less than 6 months. And today we have over 150 million lines. I'm saying this to encourage you and to also tell you, as you pursue your ideas, when someone says, this is impossible, reply with 2 sentences. 1, nothing is impossible. 2, impossible only takes longer. And pursue your dream.